Hello and welcome back to my wildlife friendly, insect friendly garden. It's been a really fab year for insects. It's been amazing. More insects this year than I've seen in quite a few years, which is a big relief, because last year was the worst year ever for insects. It was the worst year for bumblebees, the worst year for butterflies according to the official statistics. But they've really bounced back this year. Largely, it has to be said, simply the weather's been amazing. But I thought you might like to come on a little trip around my garden, see what we can see where the insects are. It's kind of peak insect right now, I would guess. It's the last week of July. The flowers, some of them are starting to look a little bit tired, but the insects are still going strong, many of them anyway. So let's have a little wander about and see what we can find. Starting with right behind me, we've got this helianthus, which, sorry, bear with me, is a kind of perennial sunflower, North American species, I think, which the insects are really loving at the moment. There's a honeybee here. There's some bumbles in the distance. There's a couple of gatekeepers. Let me just lift the camera up. Now, right next to me, got some burdock, which is a native wildflower. You might be able to see the meadow brown lurking there. It's a really good nectar source for bees and butterflies. Not the most impressive plant you've ever seen, but I'm hoping it'll thrive. And this here, this is a hogweed. Look at it, absolutely smothered in insects. And this is just a little one. There's some more impressive ones we'll see later. Got 2 or 3 species of hoverflies, some other flies, some minute little things which are so small I can't tell what they are. The inevitable soldier beetle over here, the orange chap. For once it's not mating, but I'm sure we'll see more that are. Anyway, come with me, let's see what else we can find. Just going to whiz along the front of the house. There's not much to see here really. My wife has a great liking for hydrangeas, which are pretty rubbish for insect life, but have to compromise on these things. Right. Past the valerian, which has got a green veined white on it, and some hoverflies. This is not looking great anymore, but it's a good plant for butterflies and moths. Past this, this is the first fig I've had on this tree. That's exciting. From a tree I grew from a cutting. Figs, should you be interested in. Sorry about this. Figs take really easily from cuttings. This is one of the ornamental beds near my house, and it's looking pretty good. It's been slightly taken over by Michaelmas daisies, but look at this echinacea coneflower. There's a small tortoiseshell, which is a rare sight these days, and there's a green veined white, and I can see a bumblebee, a meadow brown butterfly, and it's just the most beautiful colour. Fantastic. There's also a lot of marjoram here, which is really where a lot of the action is at. Marjoram is a gorgeous native wildflower, and for most of July it's been the place where probably most insects are. Look over here, nice patch of marjoram, and it's just humming with life. Gatekeeper's having a really fantastic year this year. I guess it's interesting to speculate, you know, why insects have recovered so well this year. Is it just the weather? That's clearly a major factor. It's just been warm and sunny, and insects love that. But here's a lavender. Maybe it's you know, the effects of all the keen wildlife gardeners out there doing their bit, trying to provide habitat for nature, which must be helping. Maybe it's the farmers, some of them doing a fantastic job looking after wildlife, moving away from pesticide use, particularly insecticides. It's a rather handsome buff-tailed bumblebee. Maybe it's the neonicotinoid ban, which finally became complete in 2025 for the first time. Who knows? I guess we should bear in mind that, amazing though this year has been for insects. Well, this is everlasting sweet pea, by the way, which is quite popular with leafcutter bees and brimstone butterflies, it seems. Yeah, so although it seems like it's been an amazing year for insects, the classic windscreen phenomenon still suggests that there are far fewer insects around than there were. You know, when 30, 40 years ago, if you went for a drive in the summer, you'd have to stop every hour or two to clean your windscreen. And that just doesn't happen anymore. In recent years, you can drive all day without seeing hardly a splat on the windscreen. Right, let's have a look here first. Some nice alliums. These are always popular with bees. It's a whole range of alliums, and I think pretty much every variety of allium I've ever tried is quite attractive to insects. This is Telechia, which has gone over, but the bees were loving when it was flowering. And over here we've got this rather nice perennial spineless thistle. I've actually forgotten its Latin name temporarily, it'll come back to me. Just beginning to flower, and there's a bumble on it over there. And we've got the classic Verbena bonariensis behind it, which actually has absolutely nothing on it today, but normally is, well, I lie, I can see a bumblebee. Normally very popular with all sorts of insects. Anyway, back to my ramble. Let's head over here. There are clearly far fewer insects even this year than there were 30 or 40 years ago. I have to say, this is the first year in decades when if you go for a drive, there have been a few insect splats on the windscreen. Nothing like what we used to get, but more than we've had for quite a while, which is really, I guess, encouraging, but also, you know, suggests that we're nowhere near back to the abundance we had a few decades ago. So there's certainly no time to be complacent. Anyway, let's enjoy what feels like a great year for insects. So this is my my main hogweed patch. Well, it's kind of an orchard and a hogweed patch. All sorts of stuff in here. But most insects are on the hogweed again. I know we've already looked at this, but look here. Got a swollen-thighed flower beetle, soldier beetles again. More flies of various sorts. Rarely get bumbles on here. I think the flowers are too small for them. But you just get this mass of life. Look at that. And there are hundreds of these flowers here. Each one of them is like a big dinner plate, just ready for grazing from all these little insects. Let's wander up a bit further. This is my one of my Asian pears. I rather love Asian pears. It's a long way from being ripe yet, but in a month or two these will be delicious. Really easy to grow too, and very rarely do you see them being grown in Britain. Anyway, more hogweed. I love this bit of the garden. It's an absolute jungle. But there's a lovely teasel there, great native biennial for bees. Yeah, it's not everyone's taste for how a garden might look, but I think it's fab. A lot of the vegetation is considerably taller than I am. The hogweed's going mad. The willow herb there is also about 7 feet tall. Okay, let's go over here. So this is one of my older apple trees, a Bramley. It looks like it's going to be producing a good crop this year. The blackberries are coming on. This is my first eater apple of the year. It's not my favourite apple, to be fair, which is why quite a lot of them have been left for the wasps and whatnot to feed on, and the birds. But this is Lord Lambourne. It's a little bit pappy, but it's sweet and ripe. And having your own fresh apples in the middle of July or towards the end of July is pretty good going, I'd say. It's actually about the earliest I've had apples thanks to the great weather. Now I remember someone telling me not to eat while having a microphone stuck on your chest because it doesn't sound great, but tough, sorry. Not bad, not bad. Right. Have to fight our way. We're heading through the garden, through the orchard. I have to weave my way. The apples in particular have all got a great harvest this year, and the branches are bending over under the weight of the fruit. Look at this. This is a cider apple called Tom Putt. Long way from being ripe, but just all this all hanging down because there are so many apples forming. And again, another cider apple, Slack McGirdle, which is a great name. And here is a Perry pear. This has a rather odd name of Butt, B-U-T-T. No idea why. Not going to be ripe for a while, but very heavy cropping again. This is an apple called Bloody Ploughman's, which isn't too far off being ripe, and when it is ripe it's this glorious purple fruit. Right, we've come out near my vegetable patch. It's here in front of us, believe it or not. Like the rest of the garden, it's something of a jungle. Let's just have a wander along. So this is the rhubarb, which is looking amazing. Very happy with that. The 10-foot tall plants over there are parsnips that I let go to flower, related to hogweed, really good for insects. Here's a couple of globe artichoke flowers, which obviously I didn't pick and eat. I left them for the insects. They look really beautiful when they're fresh. This is all bright purple. Obviously they've gone over now. Also there's quite a few leek flowers you can see here, which I leave for the insects and to collect seed for next year. These are my runner beans growing over potatoes. I kind of mix crops up, which seems to work really well. I've been harvesting potatoes here yesterday, and got beetroot and perennial onions and asparagus. More onions, more potatoes. Oca growing here, courgettes over there, squashes. This giant stuff is Jerusalem artichoke, which just grows like a triffid here. We have more than we know what to do with. Oh, and there's some oca amongst the, not oca, yacons next to the courgettes over there. Probably hard to spot. And let's just backtrack a bit, go over here. The yellow rattle. That's why it's called yellow rattle. It's finished flowering, but hopefully we will be setting lots of seed. This is one of several buddleias I've got dotted around the garden. Classic butterfly plant, but there's no butterflies on here at the moment. There is a bumblebee. It's rather pretty. Some people complain that it's an invasive weed, and it can be, but isn't around here, to be fair. Here we've got one of my grapevines, one of my outdoor vines growing over an old apple tree. So apparently it was something that people often used to do, grow vines over trees. I don't know if the apple really appreciates it, but it's providing great support. And oh, there's a comma just sunning itself on one of the vine leaves. Probably not going to be able to see it, but they're gorgeous butterflies. I'm doing my best to stretch so that you can see it. Apologies if it's not visible. Anyway, just over here we have some purple loosestrife, which is a rather beautiful plant. It's not as good for insect life as I hoped. There's a common carder there. It's very beautiful, native wildflower. Quite likes damp areas if you have one. The edge of a pond, but it's growing here just in the orchard quite happily. Over here is one of my favourite dessert apples. This is Devonshire Quarrenden, not quite ripe yet, but it's going to be a bumper crop. Look at that, fantastic. Okay, let me just go and check the chickens are all right. Not too much to see over here, I don't think. Some pear trees, some cider apples. Hello girls, how you doing? Need to collect their eggs. One of them's gone broody on me and is sitting on the eggs, so unless I collect them regularly they go off. Hello girls, I hope you're all laying today. They're rescue hens. Really nice company called Fresh Start for Hens, well, charity, it's not a company, that rehomes commercial hens when they become surplus. Should you want some chickens for a very reasonable price of about £2.50 each, Google them. They're great layers. Oh, hello Poppy. What are you up to? Come here, Pops. What's up? You're looking nervous, Poppy. Oh, chicken's having a fight. Right, follow me. Let's just head back. I can't think of too much else to show you. Ah, yeah, I know. I can think of at least one thing which we couldn't possibly miss on this wander around the garden. Follow me past the ancient trampoline that the kids still use a bit, even though they're pretty much too old for it. Past some more rattle. We're heading over here where, well, there's a few things worth looking at. My solar panels, which I'm rather proud of. I know they're sort of plastic and ugly, but they're also sustainable and producing lots of energy. I actually make a small profit at this time of year from the energy we produce, and we charge the electric car and run the house. Anyway, here we have gooseneck leucostrife, relative of the purple leucostrife, quite popular with gatekeeper butterflies and various others. You can see quite a few things around. And back this way we have a lot of ragwort, which is just a wonderful plant. I absolutely love it. It's looking a bit straggly at the moment because it's been heavily grazed by these guys, of course, the cinnabar moth caterpillars. But it's clouding up. I think we've got a storm coming, so the insect life has calmed down a bit. But the ragwort is normally a pretty great place for seeing all sorts of insects, usually soldier beetles and hoverflies. There we've got a few, look. Not quite as many as on the hogweed, but it's pretty good. Ladybirds often seem to be on here after the aphids. Fabulous. Right, come with me, we'll spin around. Sorry if you're feeling a bit dizzy. We'll just finish off by having a quick look in the greenhouse, which hasn't got a fat... Oh, I forgot to mention the betony. This is a patch of betony, which is a beautiful native perennial. It's a meadow flower. Common carder bumblebees absolutely love it. I can see a leaf cutter as well. Right. Oh, a bit more hogweed. Fabulous. Right, greenhouse. My quince has got this fungal disease, which is slightly annoying, but never mind. This bistort is rather handsome, although not alive with insects today. Right, we're nearly done, but follow me. So we had a bumper crop of strawberries. You can see the strawberries are everywhere. They're long finished. And now on top of the strawberries we've got, or over the strawberries, we've got the tomatoes coming on. Just started to ripen about a week ago, the first of them. There's some nice gardener's delight ripening up beautifully. But there's some other interesting stuff in here I thought you might like to see. We've got lemongrass. Has to go into the house in the winter because the greenhouse isn't heated. This stuff is a Gretty. I would highly recommend trying growing this. It grows from seed. Self-seeds now in my greenhouse, so I don't need to sow it every year. And it's a really nice, sort of succulent, crunchy salad vegetable. You just pluck off these little sort of clusters of leaves and sprinkle it in a salad. It's delish. There's a grapevine that runs all the way around from one end to the other and produces these delicious sweet green grapes. This is tree spinach, which is an incredibly productive leaf vegetable. Goes crazy in here. And we've got a load of cucumbers sprouting up. Let me show you some of the cucumbers. Assuming I can find some. Oh, you can see these little ones coming on here. This plant produces about 5 or 6 cucumbers a day at the moment. And we've got sweet peppers, just starting to form the first peppers. That's a cinnamon tree. I'm being a bit optimistic. So my eldest son decided to give me that to look after. And that's about it, I guess. Right. Hope you enjoyed that little ramble. Until next time, don't forget to subscribe if you're interested in updates. Happy wildlife gardening. I'll see you next time.